We are at Nine Pin Cider in Albany, New York.
Lady Apple.
Lady Apple. I like that it's sweet but not too sweet. Like a lot of ciders are just like too sweet to try to even drink, and this is just like just right.
Yeah, it's like real sweet on the front, dry on the back. It's nice.
This is so awesome that you do source locally. Like that's what I love. I know a lot of cideries do that, but you guys get all over like your immediate, I guess,
yeah, especially, I mean, apples are so plentiful in the area, you don't have to go far.
Yeah.
The mascot's been really great. They've planted all these experimental orchards a few years ago, so now those are kind of coming to fruition.
Yeah. Of course,
I know, for real.
Look at all those beautiful flights.
Oh, honey pear. I'm trying the honey pear.
Yeah, the honey pear too.
Cheers.
Am I?
No.
Nope. Man in.
Oh boy.
Oh man, that's really good.
That's delicious.
It's good.
I taste the honey, I taste the pear, and it's like a little bit like a pinch sharp. A lot of tannins on it. It's crisp. Wow.
This one is amazing. This one here is the signature.
Signature.
So it's their flagship, right? A little dry. I like it. It's got like perfect balance, I feel like, of sweet and dry to it.
So the next one is
What do you got?
Papa.
I got that one.
Yep, Papa.
Oh, that's good. Wow.
Definitely dry.
Dry, but it has like that floral taste to it. What I love about their ciders is like there's, I don't know, there's a very simplistic nose to it where you don't smell something smacking you in the face, but it still tastes so good.
So this one here is ginger. It's like ginger.
Oh, I love ginger.
It's good. It's not too dry. I think this is perfectly balanced too.
So over here we have a PBC. That means blueberry peach cobbler. Oh, that's good though. That's good.
I can't wait. Definitely gives you the experience of eating an actual blueberry peach cobbler. Last one is just blueberry.
Here's to the blueberry. Let's go. Oh, that's spot on. Yeah, definitely on the sweeter side. Not too sweet. Like I also feel like it's got that kick, that sharp kick that kind of you get after the fact.
Yeah.
You always talk about the roller coaster ride of flavors. Yeah. That's definitely one of those drinks.
I think I still favor the cobbler a little bit more, but they're about the same.
Not, but if you're like a blueberry cider lover or a black currant lover, you'd go for something like that. That's good. I like that. Guys, here we are with Director of Sales and Marketing, Josh Leland, and Assistant to the Director, Nala over here. Hi, Nala. We're gonna check out the facility. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome to the warehouse. Thanks for coming out. Sorry I was a little late tonight, but I know you guys got a good head start before me. You guys are drinking cocktails and ciders and blends. You guys are making friends out there. I've heard people are recognizing you too. We got a little tour of the warehouse. We're gonna do the tour a little bit backwards. So this is a Wild Goose canning machine that we bought back in 2015. The original machine that we actually got was only this table right here. So we've added everything on after. We kind of MacGyvered the entire system here, the entire canning machine. So basically what happens is that when we're canning, we'll put a pallet of empty cans onto this decal machine right here. The decal machine will bring the empty cans up. It will go onto this conveyor belt right here. We'll get spiraled down. This will be its first wash cycle. So this will be basically making sure that the cider doesn't have any dust in it. We're a fruit processing facility, so we get a lot of, there are some fruit flies sometimes. We want to make sure the cans are clean before we're actually filling them. The cider comes down to this conveyor belt right here, gets filled with carbon dioxide right here. This carbon dioxide will basically purge the can for oxygen. That'll help make sure that there's no oxidation in the cider and the cider stays very well preserved. Right here is actually where the cider is actually going to get filled. We have a 4-can head filler. Basically, these shoot down, fill the cans with cider. They come right over here, their caps get put on, the caps get spun on right here, and then this conveyor belt takes them down so that they can get washed again. The outside can get washed. They get dried out right there. We date code all of our cans so that we know, good for quality control. And then we have a label there in the back right there. This is the pack tacker, which actually places the 4-packs on the cans. And then the 4-packs, made 4-packs come out. We have a guy right over here taking the 4-packs off the machine and putting them on the cases and putting the cases on the pallet. So that, in a very small nutshell, is our canning process.
That's cool.
So this is our, that right there, we call it Big Cos. That's our original fermentation tank right here. That's 1,000 gallons right there that we're able to finish, our product and chill it down, add our carbon dioxide, do everything that we need to do to finish the cider before it can get canned or bottled or kegged. This tank right here is actually named after me. It's called the Dubs tank. I'm not sure why they named it after me. This one is the Mitch tank. Mitch was one of our original cider makers who actually now owns his own cidery that you guys should really check out. I don't know if you have yet. Roger's Cider Yard in Johnstown, New York.
That's next.
Yep.
Let's go.
You gotta check out my boy Mitch Rogers. Some of the greatest apples in the state. We named this after him on his last day. He set this tank up for us. So we named it after him. And then this is Big Mammy. Big Mammy is 3,000 gallons of cider. Yeah.
See how big this thing is?
Yeah.
By far the biggest tank we've ever seen.
And every single bottle at 9 Pin is literally bottled by hand. So like every single, we wear gloves and masks and everything. And usually this would be a great statement, but because of COVID, it maybe not. But literally, we have touched every bottle coming out of this facility. We take hygiene and safety really seriously here. So, I still think that's really cool, and it brings it back to that small business attitude where everything's handmade. You know what I mean? And we might seem big, because of the tanks and the size of the warehouse, but. We're still only a team of 11 or 12 people, so it's
That's crazy.
It's still a small business. It's very much a small business.
Yeah.
Something that we do that kind of differentiates us from a lot of other cideries is that we actually age our ciders for at least 6 months. We treat the cider making process like a wine making process. So we age that cider. We think it really matures the cider for a great complex taste. And usually we're just aging in either stainless steel or these IBC toasts. That you see over here, but sometimes we do age in wine barrels, whiskey barrels, bourbon barrels, rye barrels, whatever it is. Basically infuses that. We are New York State's first farm cidery. So back in 2014, we obtained this license that actually allowed us to be the first cidery in the state to operate our own tasting room. But it came under the condition that we had to source 100% of our palm fruit from New York State. Palm fruit would be apples and pears. So 100% of our apples and pears that we use in our cider come from New York State farms and orchards, which aligns with our mission about supporting New York agriculture and producing quality craft cider from New York farm products. So we source about 95% of our apples and pears from Smascot orchards. They're down in Kinderhook, New York, about 20 minutes south of here. So what happens is they press their apples, get like a really, get about 6,000 gallons of fresh pressed New York apple juice. And we put that into a 6,000 gallon tanker truck, basically like the tankers you see with like milk or something like that.
Yep.
And that's carrying 6,000 gallons of fresh New York pressed apples from Smascot Orchards. They drive up here. We take a pump, this pump right here, this little guy, cider.
Wait, that little pump for 6,000?
6,000 gallons.
Damn, man.
Yeah. And it pumps those New York apples, that New York apple juice, into one of our 7 tanks, which we've named after the 7 dwarves. So the 7 dwarves. So.
I did read grumpy, happy,
happy, sleepy.
Literally by far
Yeah.
the biggest tanks we've ever seen.
Yeah,
That is literally big.
These are, you were saying the 30,000 gallon tank, that's one of the biggest ones you've ever seen?
Yeah.
These are 6,000 gallons.
Oh,
These are-
man.
Yeah, and
This
you
is
want
a
to
lot
hear,
bigger.
and what's really cool about these is that they're temperature controlled. So you see these jackets that they have on the side? You can kind of tell it's not so insulated in this big ass warehouse.
Yeah.
And so if it's 32 degrees or if it's 95 degrees outside, these cider tanks will always stay a consistent temperature, which is really important for the quality of your cider and making it consistent from batch to batch. We've invested in some great equipment over the years to make the cider more clean, more balanced, more shelf stable. This is a cross-flow filter right here, and this is a centrifuge right here. All part of the quality control system here, and just making sure we always have a balanced and consistent cider.
The reason that Nine Pin is all over the East Coast is because, they put so much love and effort into what they're doing. And their cider maker is also the owner of the company. And I met Alejandro earlier today, and I was fangirling a little bit because, within outside of the cider industry, and more specifically the cider review industry or cider enthusiast industry, like you wouldn't think of like, who's this guy who is selling cider, right? Like you don't think much of it, but he is a freaking rock star. He knows what he's doing, and people who make cider respect him as like in such a high regard because he really has a scientific approach to everything he does. And so many people are saying this guy in Albany, New York is paving the way for so many of us to learn from, and you know what I mean? Like it's
Well, I think that's he's my big cousin, so I'm sure I'll have to hear about the fangirl comment. You talk about a scientific approach. When he started making cider, he was actually going to grad school and getting his master's in hydrology. So
that explains everything. That explains everything.
So he comes from basically a collegiate, scientific background. He was first starting it, and I was like 20, something like that, 21 years old. I was still in college, and he made his first keg of hard cider, and it was just like one of those nights. I don't know, man. Like we were just climbing around as cousins, you know what I mean? And like all of a sudden, like 2 in the morning, me and him are the last people up. Like we're gonna wake up at 6 in the morning, and go skiing and snowboarding, and I just was like, yo, this is like, I tasted his cider and I was like, this is going to be successful. And I just heard about his approach that he was gonna do. And 6, 7 years later, here I stand. We want to support New York agriculture by producing quality craft ciders using New York apples and fruit. And that to me, and if you could ask anybody here at Nine Pin what means the most to them about Nine Pin, is that mission statement. And no matter what we do, no matter what our marketing is, we always focus on that mission statement of supporting New York agriculture. So if there's one thing that anybody could take away from this podcast, this YouTube video, is that I want people to know that mission to us is everything. And so every time you drink Nine Pin Cider, you support New York agriculture, and we thank you for that. Guys, virtual cheers.
Thank you so much.
Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified of all our future episodes.
If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We love you.